Let's hit legs together. Welcome back to my channel. As always, I am very excited for today's video, and this one, as you can tell from the title, is going to be a glutes and hamstring workout from my newest workout program, Fit for Fall. You can find it on my website at optshape.com. You can also go ahead and follow Optimal Shape on Instagram, Twitter, well, I guess X now, and Facebook. I'll leave all that information down below. You can also, if this is your first time seeing me or my face, hi, my name is Samantha, or Sammy for short, and I'm a certified personal trainer as well as a weight loss specialist. So if any of that is of any interest to you, then please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can be informed when I upload all of my future content. You can also go ahead and follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Sammy for short. Now, with all of that being said and out of the way, let's jump in to this lower body workout. So as you can see, I'm just starting up with some warm-ups like dynamic stretching, active stretching. If you've been on my channel for a while or on my TikTok or anything, then you know I always start all of my workouts with some type of active or dynamic stretching, which basically means instead of just holding a stretch for about 30 seconds or so, you're actually going to be moving back and forth. So that way, not only are you warming up the body, but you're also getting a little bit of stretch in there as well without over lengthening any of the muscles. So as you could see earlier, we started with some single leg forward reaches, one round for 30 seconds on each leg. And now we're going into a high lunge to a pyramid, one time 30 seconds on each leg as well. And then we are about to go into a runner stretch to a low lunge, which is a very similar concept with a lot of these, because again, today we are doing glutes and hamstrings. These stretches are focusing a lot more on opening up through the hips, as well as getting a stretch in the back of the leg, the back of the upper thigh, which is where your hamstring is going to be located, if you didn't already know that. And I'm not going into too much detail on form here. You can kind of see everything as I am doing it. I will be going into more detail when we get into the actual workout itself. I have a lot more detailed instructions on how to stretch and how I do these stretches in a bunch of my other videos. So that's why I'm not going into as much detail about it today. And after you complete your stretching, you're going to go into what's called a movement prep. So this is going to be more so body weight or lightweight exercises that are going to prepare you for the movements that will be appearing in your actual workout. So once you're done stretching, you're going to get onto your back and have your feet firmly planted, toes pointed forward, knees up towards the ceiling, and you're going to have your back laying flat on the mat. Then you're going to drive your hips up, pressing through the feet as you squeeze your glutes at the top, exhaling when you bring your hips up, and inhaling as you bring your hips down one vertebra at a time, keeping your core nice and tight the entire time. This is great not only to start warming up through the hamstrings and glutes, but also to get a little bit of core focus in there as well. And this will be preparing you for your hip thrust that I will be doing in just a couple of minutes. Once you do your glute bridges one time for 45 seconds, then you're going to go into a single leg glute bridge, which is the same concept, but now you're straightening one leg out at a time. You're not bringing that leg up and down, you just keep it nice and steady, and now you're just pressing through one foot, lifting your hips up. It's normal to not go as high, so don't worry about that. Just make sure you're still keeping that core and glute engagement the entire time, lifting your hips up and slowly dropping back down, making sure you're still breathing. You'll do 45 seconds on one leg and 45 seconds on the other. Next, you're going to be going into banded RDLs, again, one round for 45 seconds. You're going to have a somewhat loose band, just loose enough that you're able to get it around your shoulders and feet. So you're going to place your feet on the bottom of the band, bring the top of the band around the back of your head and towards your shoulders. Then you're going to press down with your hands so that there's a little bit of extra resistance as you then have a small bend in your knee as you sit your hips back and then bringing your hips forward. So very, very similar to that RDL motion. It's actually exactly that normal RDL motion, that you do with dumbbells, but this time you're just doing with a band to warm up through those hips, warm up through the glutes, hamstrings, everything you need. So this helps a lot to help get that proper form down. So you're not squatting up and down. Notice I have a bend in my knee, but that bend is not going anywhere. I'm not straightening my legs at all. This whole movement is pushing back with your butt, moving through your hips. After you do a normal banded RDL, 1 round for 45 seconds, you are then going to make this a single leg movement. So you'll have the band now around 1 foot, holding on to the top of it with your hands, and then you're going to keep one leg straight back behind you. As you sit those hips back, that leg naturally comes up. So don't think about kicking up. It is only moving as a result of your hips coming back, just like your upper body doesn't move until your hips come back first. So it's all in that lower body. Make sure you're using that mind to muscle connection to really hone in on where you should be feeling it and what areas you should be targeting. Now getting into the bulk of the workout, we are going to be doing hip thrusts or glute drives, depending on whether or not you have the machine or if you have a barbell set up. And this is going to be 4 sets of 8 to 10 reps with heavier weights or moderate weights if needed. And to start, if you're using the bench, you're going to push off of your elbows. I like to push off my elbows to help get me up. And then you're going to let your elbows come down as your hands come onto the barbell. Your shoulders and the top of your back is along the bench. And then your feet are or your ankles, I should say, are just directly underneath your knees. When your hips come up, your knees are stacked over top of those ankles. You're pressing through all 4 corners of both feet, keeping your core nice and tight. As you lift your hips up, you want to exhale, and as your hips come down, you want to inhale. Make sure that your whole torso is moving at the same time and in line with each other, so you're not arching your back at any point during this movement. So you'll notice your chin should be tucked in towards your chest, and everything, so straight line from the head to the tailbone, will drop down in alignment and then come back up as well. Staying in that perfect alignment, there should always be a line from your head to your tailbone moving up and down. Ideally, if you could do this on a decline bench, that's actually going to help you a little bit more, so you don't have to fully press on those elbows. It gets a little hard getting yourself up there and adjusting everything. So you could do this on a decline bench, that would be great. If you don't have one of those, but you have a glute drive machine, I think that makes the setup way easier, but you can always just use a barbell for this as well. That's what I had to use at this particular gym. And just make sure you're giving yourself adequate rest time between each set. Next, you're going to be going into a leg curl and a single leg curl. So you're going to be doing 4 sets, 12 leg curls, and then 10 single leg curls on each side. So a superset means you're doing 2 exercises back to back with minimal rest in between. This should be at a more moderate weight, could be heavier as well, depending on how strong or how comfortable you feel with this. So it's pretty self-explanatory with machines. You're just going to sit upright in this machine, make sure that that top part is placed directly on your thigh. You do not want it to be on your knee, so you want it to be right above the knee. That way you're not causing any injury. And then you'll just bend both knees and straighten your legs at the same time for 12 of those. And then, like I said, you're going to go into single leg. So you'll just drop one leg down, keep the other leg up, as again the top rest comes directly onto the thighs, and then you're just going to bend and straighten one leg. Take it nice and slow, keeping it controlled, and you want to make sure you're never locking out through the knees. You never want to lock out through your knees during any movement, because that could lead to a lot of injury and hyperextension, which we don't want. And then you're going to exhale as you come down, inhale as you bring it back up. Again, you're doing 10 on each side, and when you were doing both legs, you were doing 12. This is going to be for 4 sets with a moderate weight. And finally, to end off, you're going to be doing some dumbbell RDLs. You will be doing 3 sets of 12 with a moderate weight. You are going to, just like you did with your band earlier, have your feet about hip distance apart, so your ankles are directly underneath your hips. And then you're going to keep your core nice and tight, straight line from the head to the tailbone as you bring your hips back, kind of like you're pushing your butt back towards something. and then bringing your hips forward, almost like you're thrusting forward. You want to keep a little bit of tension at the top so you're not like coming in and squeezing your glutes. You want to push out with your butt the entire movement, taking it nice and slow, dragging the dumbbells just below the knee. And you really, again, want to make sure that your lower body is doing all of the work. So you're pushing out with those glute muscles. Your upper body is only moving as a result of your hips hinging back. But that is the whole workout. I couldn't actually get to some of the stuff just because I didn't have those pieces of equipment in the gym. So if you want to see the full workout program, then please go ahead and check out opshape.com to purchase it. That's where all of my workout programs are, and it not only gives you the 6-day workout split, but it's also going to give you tips and tricks, nutrition guidelines, a macro calculator, habit tracker, and so much more, a bunch of healthy recipes for the fall time. So make sure you go ahead and purchase that, and if you do, let me know what you think of it. You can also go ahead and schedule yourself for some online training if you are interested in working with me. It can be online or in person depending on the area that you are from. So go ahead and sign up for that on my website as well. You can also check out some offers I'm having for my upcoming boot camps. There will be one for the winter time, so stay tuned for that. And if you like this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Comment below any other videos that you would like to see from me in the future, and share this video with your friends that you think may be interested. But that's it. So with all that being said, I'm gonna go, but before I do, I want to remind you all to stay positive, be active, and most importantly, do what keeps you healthy.
Stop. Stop. Wildin'.